Today I'd like to talk to you about colouring in and the types of felt tip pens that I use in my sketchbook. So I do a lot of colouring in or making art with felt tip pens or markers, and I think there's several reasons for that. Firstly, they're very easy to use. So I've had a few health challenges over the last couple of years, and some days I'm not that great. So it means that I can use felt tip pens really easily, sat on the sofa or even sat in bed. And also I really love the way you can build up colours, and there's something just quite playful and pleasurable to me about using a felt tip pen. So I just thought I'd show you inside my sketchbook and talk you through some of the pens that I personally enjoy using.
These are some recent pages that I have made in my sketchbook using felt tip pens, and I use a variety of felt tip pens, different brands. Some are more expensive, some are more affordable, and I just love building up layers of colour. So one of the ways that I get really intense colours is to go over it again and again, and because the paper in my sketchbook is quite good quality, so it's 200 grams per square metre or £90, it means it can take quite a lot of felt tip pen. I don't know if you remember as a child, if you kept going over and over the same area with the same pen, sometimes the paper used to kind of bobble, but because this paper is quite good quality, it doesn't really do that. So it means that I can build up layers. So for example, this sort of deep brown colour, I don't know if you can see it, it's probably got a yellow and maybe a green. I've just played around with different colours until I find the kind of colour combination which pleases me. And I've also stuck in some small pieces of collage. So these kind of pieces here, this piece here, is just a bit of paper painted with acrylic paint. So sometimes I just want to bring the colours up or just add something slightly different. But there's something really lovely, I think, about, I like the way you can see the marks. So the evidence of me is still here, which I like, that kind of, the physicality of using the materials is still here in the page. There's something I like, and I just find all these colours together in my sketchbook just as sort of inspiring. It means when I come back to my sketchbook, there's just something really pleasing to me about flicking through it, which then encourages me to create more. So I get lots of questions about how come my markers don't bleed through to the other page, and that's because the felt tips that I tend to use are water-based or Indian ink-based. So here's a little scrappy bit of paper, and this is an alcohol-based pen. So if you use an alcohol-based pen, and you'll see, hopefully you'll see, particularly if you stop the pen and it creates this bleed through. So in my sketchbook, I don't tend to use alcohol-based pens, although there is something lovely about the bleed through. So, you know, that does happen. I quite often use these sorts of random surprising marks as the starting point of something else. But fundamentally, most of the time I use water-based markers. And here are the top ones that I tend to use. And these are just personal preference, so I just thought I'd share the ones that I use as I get lots of questions about them. The type of marker I use the most is from Tombow, and it's a water-based double-ended pen. So, and it's the brush side that I tend to use, because you can really build up a large area very quickly using the side of that brush. So you can see I've just can do that really quickly, and it's a lovely selection of colours. So that's a Tombow dual pen. So on one side is the brush pen, and on the other side is a much finer line. So that's Tombow. The next one that I use often is a FABER CASTELL Pitt pen. Now these are not water-based, these are Indian ink-based, so they're actually water-fast. Oh, this one's running out a little bit. But actually I quite like the effects of a slightly run out pen. I just like the marks and I just really love run out pens. So that's Faber-Castell and it's a artist's Pitt pen. The next pen that I use is an Ecoline brush pen, and these are really thick and juicy. I mean, look how quickly I can build up an area of colour. So this is an Ecoline brush pen with water-based ink. This is a Stabilo pen 68, and they do them in different sizes, but I like the brush pen, so it has a slightly thicker nib. So a Stabilo 68. And then I also use a Staedtler brush pen. Again, it's a double-ended pen, so one side is a nice thick brush, and on the other side is a much thinner fine liner pen.